Hi people, it's Archivist here, and today I'm going to be making what is quite simply an appreciation video, because I think on YouTube sometimes we get so caught up and focused on where games are going wrong and how everything's going in a very cynical direction. We sometimes forget to recognise and appreciate when a developer takes the right steps and creates a game that is, for all intents and purposes, very pure. I think one of the greatest fears for a lot of gamers at the moment is that games as a service is taking over and microtransactions are becoming ever more pervasive in today's games. And although they're not inherently a bad thing if you ask me, I don't like the idea of that becoming the whole of gaming, because it is nice to have a packaged experience where you know what you're getting, you know what you're paying for, you consume it, you enjoy it, and you move on. And don't ever get the sense that a game is trying to manipulate you or get you to spend more money than you would have perhaps agreed up front by creating circumstances within the game that are perhaps more challenging than it is fair to be, or so on and so forth. But with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, we have a game here that has absolutely no online component. Even when previous From Software games have had those components, this is a game that is just a solid single player offering. You don't need to be online to play it, you can just boot it up. It's almost very old school, right? There's not much loading going on, the story is there but sort of in the background, and the gameplay is without a shadow of a doubt the focus, right? It's a game that is remarkably pure and in some respects quite old school, while of course still bringing forward many of today's benefits in, for example, the realms of graphics. This is undoubtedly a very modern looking game while retaining some of the benefits of old school gaming. Now, I have to be careful here because I don't want to become someone who fears the future, right? Even with cloud gaming, which I'm quite cynical about where that could end up, I also don't want to completely dismiss it. And I'm the same about games as a service, right? And I can see where that can sometimes benefit a game. I mean, if you take a look at where Star Wars Battlefront 2, for example, is now versus where it was, they've done a lot to improve the game and add an extreme amount of value to it. But at the same time, that came at the cost of a rather rocky launch. But this is completely not the case with Sekiro, where the game is just what it is. There's no season pass that would imply that certain bits of content have been cut out, and I don't think any content has been cut out of it. It really does feel like a full experience, and even if we do get DLC, that would just be a bonus rather than any kind of background feeling that this content should have been in the real game, because not only is it a complete experience, but there are even divergent paths on the storytelling to give you even more than perhaps the price would warrant, which is fantastic. And so, I've already done a review talking about the specific mechanics of the game and why I think they're great, and why I think the difficulty is very well tuned, and that although certain areas of the game can feel unfair at first, with practice you can overcome them. So I won't go into the specifics of the game, but I did want to take a moment just to identify the fact that Sekiro is becoming increasingly rare, in that it is a game that just delivers you a strong single player experience with a focus on the raw gameplay and how refined it is, and doesn't try to manipulate you in any way. It is just a game that you put into your console, you download on your PC, you play it, you enjoy it, and you appreciate the value it gives. As always, people, thanks very much for watching and see you next time.